let's leave the website versus app conversation for just a minute, and we want to talk about a website. So I'm going to use a website for a friend of mine who is a creative professional, and she does all sorts of really interesting things, visual media. She's also a really professional baker. Baker's probably not even sufficient. She does all sorts of cool stuff. But let's take a look at her website because it's got some of the features that we want to focus on. So let's make that full screen. Very good. Okay. So this is my friend Jordan. She is really talented, like I said, baker, but she also is a really good writer. She does photography as a profession. She's also done some TED Talks. So she's got a really nice, what I like about her website is the simplicity of it. And that's really important so that we can learn the elements of a good website together. So as you can see, the URL here at the top, jordanbaileyart.com, right? If I misspelled any part of that, it's not going to bring me to this website. It's going to take me somewhere else. So let's just show how that's the case. Let's just take out one random letter and just see what happens. We took the A out. Let's see what happens. The site can't be reached, right? That is why it is so important that when we're using the address bar, we type it in accurately. It's almost like, I'm sure you've had this happen. When you put the address in your GPS and it's navigating you, it's telling you the turn by turn, you're following it, you didn't miss a single exit, everything, it's perfect, it's beautiful. You didn't even have to turn down the radio to focus anymore, right? You're just riding along perfectly. And then all of a sudden, your little icon stops and it says you've reached your destination. And you're looking around and you are not at your destination, right? That can happen. When that happens on the internet, when you think that you've put everything in to get you where you want to be, and yet you get a message like this, oftentimes this is the first culprit, is to look at what you type in. This is, I would say 90% of the time, the reason that you're not at the site that you intend to be on is because you had a misspelling. But you notice we use our navigation pane. We just click back. It took us right where we wanted to be. Now, we really want to lock in on this concept, like just focus in for just a minute. Because there's some examples of how this could really be dangerous for us. I want to give you an example that's not Jordan's website. We'll come back to our website in just a second, but I want to show you an example. So give me just one moment. I'm going to pull up an example for you that I think is relevant. Well, maybe it's not relevant in September, but it will be soon. All right, we're going to look at two examples of websites here. And it's a small difference between these two websites. Just a small spelling difference. Just a small spelling difference. But you're going to notice that it makes a very big difference on where you end up on this website. So make sure I got them both loaded here. Okay. So we talked about the importance of an accurate URL when we are online. This is so critically important when we're on the internet, and I'm going to show you a use case of what, especially those last letters, everything that comes after the dot. We call that a top level domain. Here's why that's significant. Take a look at this website. Here we are. Now you'll notice we are on irs.gov. At the very top, you see what this says here? An official website of the U.S. government. When you go to a website that is for a government office, if it does not end in .gov, you are not on an official government website. I will repeat that again. If you are trying to access a government website, but the URL does not end in .gov, you are not on a government website. You notice it says it at the very top here, and you see they want to explain it to you. Here's how you know. Here's how you know you're on that, because it says .gov belongs to an official government organization in the United States. It also talks about this HTTPS. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But those are the signs, right? And I want to highlight a couple things about this. Number one, if a person on the internet has high integrity, meaning they are not trying to scam you, they're not trying to trick you, this is the type of information they'll provide to you. They're not going to do anything to mask who or what they are. They're going to be extremely transparent, and this is a good example. Now, in the case of the IRS, it's understandable because they want us to pay our taxes, so they are not going to make anything deceptive. They want to be super clear. However, I want you to look at something very similar. You notice IRS.com. IRS.com. And what does it say at the very top? IRS.com is not affiliated with any government agencies. And here's what's more, and may even earn commission for links on the site. But look, it seems so legitimate. There's information about taxes, about tax brackets, about tax debt relief, about refunds, prepare your taxes online, it seems very legit. We know that it is not, because it is a different URL. If you are looking for a government entity, it's always going to end in .gov. And this is really important because this kind of thing happens. We make these small mistakes in typing in the URL, and we land on a web page that is not where we want to be. This happens, and it's not just for our older ones. It happens to everyone. Very good. I think we got it. Some other examples of top level domain that gives us a signal about whether we're on the right site or not. For example, if you're looking for a nonprofit organization like public broadcasting or maybe a charitable organization, it's always going to end in .org. If you're looking for a legitimate institution of education, it is going to end in .edu, right? Those are the cues that will tell us you have arrived at the correct website. You've typed in the right thing.